Greetings, I'm Dr. Sean Reed, author of the Dating Toolbox, available on Amazon.com. Guys, if you want to have success at dating, if you want to get women to love you and to stay in love with you, please read my book. It's only $13, Amazon.com. It will change your life. Okay, so today I want to talk about the 5 timeline phases in a relationship. Relationships go through various phases, and I've broken that down into 5 phases. Okay, so you have your builder rotation phase, your manager rotation phase, your commit to long-term relationship, your golden year if you can get it, and then finally we have marriage. And today I want to talk about these 5 phases. Okay, the first phase is your building phase. You're building a dating rotation. So the assumption here is you're starting from pretty much nothing. You're starting from scratch. I've said this 1,000 times, but it bears repeating. You must become good at opening women. You must become good at starting conversations with women. You must not fear rejection. You must go after those phone numbers. Okay. It may take you a while to get good at this. It takes practice. I've had many other videos on how to get better at opening women and closing. Opening means we start a conversation. Closing means we get something like a phone number or a kiss. Okay? So we must become good at opening women, and we must build that dating rotation. Eventually, you will become good at opening women. You will become good at getting that first date, and then you'll become good at getting that second and that third date. Basically, what we're doing is we are sifting and screening. We are sifting and screening women, looking for red flags. If she makes it through that third date with no red flags, that means she agrees to your date, right? If you meet a woman and she immediately starts to argue with you about the date, you offer to take her to the mall, you offer to take her to coffee, you offer to take her to get a couple drinks, and she's constantly saying, no, I want you to take me out to an expensive dinner. That's an immediate red flag. Don't date women like that. So you get to the third date, she's agreed to your date ideas, she's fun, she's a flexible giver, obviously she's attractive. You now have a woman that is a candidate to enter into your dating rotation. Okay, so we start dating. We start opening lots of women. I want you opening a woman every day. I want you opening 30 women a month. I want you starting conversations with 30 women a month. And I want you aggressively going after those phone numbers. Now, when I say aggressive, I don't mean that we're rude or we're pushy with women. Never. We're always gentlemen. But what happens is as we do this more and more, we become relaxed. We become confident, we become slick, we become smooth. Again, it's a matter of practice. It depends on the individual how long this might take you. Some guys get good at it in a few months. Some guys it takes longer to develop, but you've got to develop the skill. But once you're there, you are now getting dates on a regular basis. And when a woman makes it past 3 dates, that's generally a woman we want to enter into our dating rotation. So as a general rule, we only see these women Monday or Sunday through Thursday. We don't see them on the weekend. You always want a woman wondering, hey, why isn't he taking me out on the weekend? We'll talk a little bit more about that later on. But we're building that rotation. And what I like to have is I like to have a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday rotation. That meant I would see a woman on Tuesday, I would see a woman on Thursday, and I would see a woman on Saturday. My editor of my book said, well, what about Monday and Wednesday? And the point here is Monday, Wednesday is fine. If you want to have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday rotation, that's fine. The key here is that we are keeping our number one prospects, we're keeping them confined to Sunday through Thursday. We don't want to take out our number one prospect on Saturday because we want her wondering. As I was dating this really, really great gal, and she was already starting to push me for marriage. So I moved her into my Saturday slot. since she was already talking about marriage, I knew she had very high interest level in me. So at that point, I could afford to move her into my slot. However, at that time, I had met my wife, and it went very, very well with us. And so I started to see my wife on Tuesdays. I wouldn't see her on the Saturday. So I'd see my Saturday gal. Eventually, I had to let my Saturday gal go. She was a really great gal. 19 years later, I still think about her. Some guy whoever married her got a great gal. When she would come over to my house, the first thing she would do is she would start to clean it. I mean, this was really a wonderful gal. She wanted to get married. I seriously considered her, but eventually I didn't. So she was my Saturday gal, and I moved my wife into my Tuesday slot. And then I had another woman on my Thursday slot, and she also had a lot of great qualities. But the point is, at this time, I had a 3-woman rotation. Okay, I was dating seriously 3 women, and at this point, I'd slowed down my hustling for numbers because I had 3 women that were all marriage material, and they all started to push for commitment. Now, what is the key about this stage of your process of managing your rotation is do not lie. Okay, a lot of guys think that if they're dating multiple women, they have to lie. No, do not lie. Why? Because you're going to get caught. Okay, women are better at this than we are. What would happen is I would have women, they would put an earring in my sock drawer. They would claim, oh, I lost my earring in your sock drawer. Did they really lose that earring? No. They knew darn well that they were squirreling it away because they were marking their territory. So again, women are going to do stuff like that, and the other women will see that and you'll get caught. So don't lie. So when a good example of this was at the time, I like women with long black hair. I was dating 3 women with long black hair. I was dating my wife at this time, and she found a long black hair in my bedroom. And she said, who does this belong to? And I said, well, sweetie, it's a long black hair. You have long black hair. It's your hair. And she said, no, it's 2 inches longer than my hair. Are you seeing other women? Again, guys, it's critical. Don't lie. Make a joke out of it. Are you seeing other women? Oh, yes, only 10 or 12, but you're my favorite. Ha, ha, ha. I didn't lie, and then I changed the subject. Now, there's a limited period of time you can do that. Generally, you have a 2 to 3 month frame in which you can date a woman, and if she has high interest, she's really going to be pushing for commitment by the end of those 3 months. So you can only do this for so long, but you can date multiple women, and you can date a woman for 2 to 3 months before committing to her. She's going to start to push for commitment. At some point, you'll have to make that commitment, but you don't early on, and we don't lie. Okay, so we don't lie about that. Another thing is a woman will ask you early on in the dating process, have you ever been married? Okay, yes, I've been married and I've been divorced. Okay, do not talk about that early on. Deflect that question. So when a woman asks you, were you married? Say, oh, only about 12 times, but I'm sure the next one will work. Ha, ha, ha. We make a joke out of it and we move on. We move that conversation to something else. That way you will not be caught lying. Okay, guys? So very, very critical during this whole process is we do not lie. Eventually you are going to have to commit to a long-term relationship. You are doing everything right. You are following everything in my system. You've read my book multiple times. You know how to manage a relationship. So now you have 3 women with very high interest level in you, and they're going to start pushing you for a relationship. So at some point, you're going to have to make a commitment to a long-term relationship. This happened with my wife. I was seeing her for about 8 weeks, and I was still, I cut my rotation down to 2 women. I was seeing her and this other really, really great gal, my Saturday night one, that was pushing for a relationship. So it was a Sunday. The one gal left my house, and then Christine, who's now my wife, knocked at the door 5 minutes later, and she said, I left my coat here. Let me get my coat. Well, it's 85 degrees out. Why do you need your coat? She had been semi-stalking me because she knew I was seeing other women. She grabbed her coat. She was all flustered. And then she finally said, I don't care if you're seeing other women. I'm going to fight for her. And that's when I committed to monogamy. That's when I stopped dating other women. So at that point, we're going to stop dating other women and we're going to enter into a monogamous relationship with one woman. Okay? At that point, we stop hustling for phone numbers. We're no longer hustling for phone numbers. We're no longer seeing other women. We become exclusive with that one woman. Now, does that mean the process is over? No. It's just getting started, guys. That's the point at which we need to get that golden year, that 1 year of minimal red flags, no fighting, no arguing. Your relationship during that year must be ideal. Let me repeat that. Your relationship during that year must be ideal. If you are having problems within that first year, it's only going to get worse if you marry this woman. Okay? Marriage and babies will not fix problems. So you've got to get that perfect golden year. And on many situations, I committed to monogamy. I dated a gal and I did not get that golden year. An early example was one woman I was seeing. I won't name her. She was a great woman. She's today married. This is more than 20 years ago. But I made the mistake of proposing to her at the 8-month mark in our relationship. Okay? Why is that a mistake, guys? Because we don't do that. Women make that decision. Unless a woman is bugging you for marriage, unless a woman is pestering you for monogamy and commitment, it doesn't work. So the way you get married is a woman has to bring up the idea. So I made the mistake of proposing to her at 8 months. She agreed. We were engaged. But then problems starting to happen. We started to argue. She did not introduce me to her parents. I was developing my system then, and I had not fully developed it yet. And I finally realized that I had made a mistake by proposing to her, and I ended it. The relationship wasn't going where I wanted to go, so I ended it. Interestingly, though, she had become heartbroken at that point. But that's because of the notion of challenge. You must always be a challenge. So you need to get that golden year. Just because you commit to a gal does not mean you're going to get that golden year. But eventually you do. And eventually I got that golden year with Christine, who's now my wife. And 18 years later, we are still married. All right. So again, guys, this whole process is one of sifting and screening. You're gonna have to meet lots of women. You're gonna have to date lots of women. By the end of this, you will probably have started conversation with thousands of women. I know there are a lot of younger guys out there. You're 23 years old. You know, you haven't had a lot of success with women. You're saying, hey, I want to give this program. But does this mean I'm going to be automatically married by the age of 25? No. I believe 25 is too young to get married. I think marriage is better off if you wait until your 30s. What's going to happen is it's going to take time. Getting good with women, just developing your opening and your conversation skills, that is something that can take several years, okay? It can take you 2, 3, even as many as 5 years to get really good at opening women. Then you're going to enter the stage where you're managing rotation. That can go on for a long time. You're not going to just get 3 women you're dating and then automatically find one that gives you the golden year. This can take a very long time. So if you're 23, 24 years old and you're thinking of implementing my system, you're not getting married anytime soon. It's probably going to be years before you're in a situation before you get married. But this process is guaranteed to work, guys. It's based on the design of the female brain. The design is based upon evolutionary biology and a lot of experience. And if you give it a try, you're going to be glad that you did. So guys, again, if you want to get better at getting women to love you and stay in love with you, if you want it to become successful with women, please get my book, read my book. It's only $13. Best $13 you ever spent. It's available on Amazon.com. There's a link down in my video for it. If you have any questions, please post them up. I'm more than happy to answer them. And if you like what you saw today, please hit that like and subscribe button, and good luck dating.